on the cusp and off the cuff on the streets of Wichita, Kansas. That's where I'm at today. It is Friday, February 9th, I believe. I actually had to think long and hard about that today. I was like, what day is it? So the only reason I know what day it is I was able to think, well, we're in Kansas City tomorrow night, and that's the Saturday before the Super Bowl that Kansas City is in, which that's pretty cool. So today in Wichita at the beautiful Orpheum Theater, and I gotta say, this theater is just incredible. It was built in 1922. When you walk in, like a lot of these theaters, when you get off the bus, so my day usually starts where I wake up on the tour bus. My bunk is on the bottom, so it's easy to get out. You just literally roll out. You're like, bloop, right there in the floor. But I don't like to lay on the floor, especially when everybody's been walking there, right? So what I do is I kind of get my stuff together. I get out of my sleeping bag, which it's cold. It's very cold in that area. I think they run the AC. I almost said A condition. So they run the air condition, and it just fills up. I feel like the bottom of the bunks there. It feels like I'm in a refrigerator. So I got me a good sleeping bag. I snuggle into that thing, usually about 1 in the morning or so. And I wake up throughout the night. Depends on the travel. Sometimes we're in the mountains and you can feel it. We have an amazing driver. His name is Dan. He's a wonderful Christian man from Pennsylvania. He's got an awesome testimony. And I've had the privilege of riding up front with him a few times, where all I do is I just kind of, after everybody's in bed, I just go up there and there's nothing going on. Just Dan's driving. And I don't want to interrupt him, because maybe he's listening to a podcast, or maybe he's just in the zone. And I can tell you, when I'm driving at night, the easiest way for me to want to fall asleep, and sometimes even during the day, is for somebody to talk to me nonstop. That will put me to sleep. If somebody's just blabbing away and they think they're keeping me awake. And I've had that happen on tours where I'm the driver, and I'm typically the driver in the rest of my life, and I'm on these trips or touring across the country, and somebody's like, I'm gonna help Adam stay awake. And they start talking, and man, they talk me right to sleep. And I'm pulling over, getting coffee. It takes me way longer to get where I'm going because I'm fighting off sleep. And I hate to say it, it sounds kind of rude, I guess. But so with my experience of that, I don't want to be that to Dan. But Dan he's super nice and he's just acting like it's fine. But he always says, no, Adam, come on. He's way cooler than I am. Like he's like, oh no, man, love to talk to you. So only once or twice have I done it on this tour so far. And it was just fascinating to hear his life story, hear about his family, his kids, and to realize, this entire tour depends upon this one guy. Because we'll play a show, and the next day we're playing 480 miles away. And it's not like you just walk in with your guitar and play. I mean, it's basically about a 12 to 14 hour day to load in everything, do the sound check, do the show, tear it all down, put it back in the bus. That's every day. So if you've got 10 hours of driving, that leaves you zero margin for error. And that's the way this tour is booked. It's kind of wild, to be honest with you. We think the booking agency is on drugs or something. We don't know what's going on, but hopefully they don't listen to this. We're gonna fire that Adam guy. He's talking crap about our booking agency on a public podcast. Well, hey, bring it on, because all I can say is when you book Colorado and then you send us to New Mexico and then you overnight us back to Colorado, and then you go back towards New Mexico to do another show in Colorado that we drove past on the way to New Mexico 3 nights ago, it starts to look pretty stupid. But anyway, I understand too. Sometimes venues, they go, well, we've got Wednesday available, but we don't have Monday. And so you're like trying to make it work. And that's part of it too. So you're going, well, we're going through there Monday. We need it Monday, but instead we'll just take Monday off. And then we'll come back Tuesday up this way. And then we'll just come back over there on Wednesday and we'll do it, even though it was on the way Monday, you know. And I understand how that happens. Because you just are like, man, we just need that's another how many thousands of dollars if we do that. You know, we definitely need to do that. And we got all these people on payroll, 12 people on payroll, a tour bus, moving that many miles. Can you imagine how much money this show is costing? It's unbelievable. I think about it all the time because, I mean, I'm usually the booking agent. I'm my own management. I'm my own sound guy half the time, setting up everything. I mean, this is probably why I'm unsuccessful, come to think of it. My God, maybe I need to get some more people involved. Hey, I'd love to. I'm ready for the team. People always talk about, I want to thank my team. And I'm like, man, I'd love to have a team. How do you get a team? But anyway, there's ways to get them. I don't know. It just keeps swinging. But right now, I'm in a band with a crew, and there's a team, and I'm watching it from my little bunk, the front seat of the bus next to Dan, the amazing driver man, and back to, these back stages where we go. So yeah, anyway, I wake up, and like today, I woke up, I step out of the bus, and I'm in an alley. And it's not like there's a sign, turn right and go into this door. I mean, and I like it that way. I don't want everything catered to me. That's actually the worst part of this entire tour. I'm very independent, and I get a little irritated. An hour before the show, I'm backstage getting ready. Every show, over the intercom, it says, we have an hour until the show. We'll be starting the show in an hour. And I'm like, jeez, come on. I know that. I'm an adult. And then they say, 30 minutes. We got 30 minutes to show. 15 minutes. And they do this countdown like I'm a rocket. Like, hey, we do this every day. I know what time to show it. It's my responsibility to be on the side of the stage, dressed and ready to go, and do this show. That's not your responsibility to tell me all day long to make sure. I always think that, and the thing of it is, none of it has anything to do with the way I'm reacting to it. It ain't got nothing to do with that guy has a responsibility. So this is what it has to do with. It's his job to do that. He's not saying we're irresponsible, although, musicians hanging out backstage, that's probably the most irresponsible bunch you could think of. But I have that pride. I'm like, man, you ain't got to tell me. I know what time it is. I saw the stinking, because they give us a sheet every day, which is awesome. And so, well, actually every night. So after every show, I got an email. The tour manager emails all of us, and it's the day sheet for tomorrow. This is what time, load in, what time, we're going in a sound check, what time lunch is lunch provided? Is it a lunch buyout, or sometimes the venue does not provide lunch or supper, so they'll just throw us some cash, which is pretty awesome. I love the buyouts for two reasons. I don't like people picking what I eat. I don't like to eat what someone else told me. Well, this is what I decided to get you. I don't like that. See, I'm independent. I'll eat what I want to eat. But if you're going to give me money, I'll take that money over food any day of the week. And when we have buyouts, I don't eat much of anything. I'll drink like a protein shake because I've got some stuffed into my bunk. And every day I'll take one out and put it in the fridge. And if there's lunch buyouts, it's so cool because I just drink them little protein shakes. And I feel like, I'm getting healthier, feel better. drink a bunch of coffee. It's like, hey man, I'm feeling good. I'm getting cash, putting in my pocket. Nobody's telling me what to eat. And then if I don't eat, see, that's the thing. Societal pressure. I can't stand it. Because then if you don't eat, well, how come you didn't eat? Somebody always asks that. Well, how come you didn't eat? Well, I didn't want to. Well, they're just intrigued by that. What do you mean you didn't want to? It's always a couple people. And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't want it. Well, it's good. It's good. What? I don't want it. You hear that bell ringing? I'm pacing a parking lot in Wichita. And you can guarantee it's flat. Because it's flat all around here. Hey, we've been in some crazy snowstorms. So the other day, we played in Beaver Creek, Colorado. Now, I did not know what I was getting into when I got out of the bus that day. So like I said, I wake up, get out of the bus. I'm usually in an alley or in a parking lot or something. And then you have to figure out, oh, this is how I get into the venue. You know, whatever. And then you climb in. So today, I'm going to go back to Beaver Creek in just a minute. So today, I opened the door to the venue. And you go down these steps and suddenly you're just backstage. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then that's where you start seeing arrows, or you can get a feel for like where the dressing rooms are. And typically I only bring one bag in the morning. I'll go grab more stuff later. But, you know, I'm just trying to figure out where I'm at. I don't want to lug luggage wrong directions. You know, I want to figure out where I'm going first. So I'll take a few turns, and I'm going down into what seems like a dungeon today here at the Orpheum Theater. And man, it's incredible. This thing, like I said, built 1922. And you just get the feeling like the Marx Brothers were here. Or like in the 50s, Elvis and Scotty and Bill came through here. And it's that kind of place. Now, I'm not sure if any of that's true, but I've been in places where that was true, and they usually felt like this. So it's so cool to be a part of this Johnny Cash show, playing these unbelievable theaters and seeing the different quirks and I would even say the personality of each theater. And I know a better word is probably character, but it seems to me like they have their own personality. And the people that work there are always just, usually they don't say anything to us. It's almost like they're used to people like us coming in, so they don't like right away go, hey, what, blah, blah. They don't get in. They're not crazy about us because they're used to people getting off a bus and coming in. It's not a big deal. But to me, it's a big deal that they work here, because I know, I'm like, this person, this is where they work every week. And I know they take total pride, and they've got to be proud of this place. And so I always talk to them about the venue. Anyone who works at the venue, I like to talk to, whether it's a security guard or whoever. How long you worked here, man? Who have you seen here? This place is beautiful. You get to talk to, and man, you realize it's like church. You know, people say a church ain't a building, it's the people. Well, the same could be said about any business or theater. You know, it's like Starbucks. I just went to Starbucks. I gave them communists my money. I'm sorry. But yeah, I don't really think that. But I mean, maybe it's true, but I don't care. I don't think about that. I just go in there because I like their banana nut bread. So yeah, you just go like, it's not Starbucks. It's the people there. And the same with the theater. So that's been interesting. I'm the only guy apparently that has an accent in the entire tour. Debbie does a little bit, I think, but everyone else is from New York. Well, actually, our tour manager has a crazy accent. He's from England. So it's not crazy. It's just crazy different. That's what I meant to say. It's way different. Sometimes I don't know what he says. I have to say, do what now? Huh? And I feel bad because he's got to be looking at me like, did you not hear what I said? You know, I'm sorry. Could you say that again? He's the tour manager. Everything he says is important. So I'm always like real tuned in to whatever he's saying. And if I miss it, I gotta know, because like, what if I missed it, something important? So Beaver Creek, man, we got to Beaver Creek, Colorado, and I got out there and I thought I was in Switzerland, man. It was like the Alps all around me, these mountains, Rocky Mountains going straight up, and it's this very high income resort. It ain't even a town, it's just a resort. And it's like they've got like guards all around it. It's like I woke up in a skiing theme park. And it's like one developer built 5 tall buildings, and in between all of them, he put an ice skating rink and a bunch of fancy restaurants and shops. And there's snow everywhere. It was crazy. So I was just walking around that, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, you ain't gonna find no McDonald's, which I wasn't looking for one, but it's just like, typical things you see in a town. This was the most unique one that I had been to. So I looked on my altitude app, and we were over 8,000 feet. And I thought, oh, that makes sense, because I just walked up a stairway and I kind of felt it. Well, throughout the day, most of the band and half the crew are sitting around on the oxygen tanks. I had never seen anything like this, unless it was like, an elderly person. And I asked them, what are you doing? They said, oh, just needing some oxygen, not feeling good. So different people react to the altitude different. I don't have any issues that I know of. I mean, besides just after walking a mile or two, it was like, man, those guys, they were, even like before the show and in between the show, they're I need oxygen, connecting to the oxygen machine. I was like, man. So I don't know, maybe coming to Montana every year for the last 6-7 years has helped me. I don't know. So that was it. So that's nothing interesting there. Nothing interesting in this entire 18 minutes, whatever, 19-minute episode. I'm excited for what's upcoming. We've got Kansas City, 2 shows tomorrow, which that's the first 2-show day that we've done. Think about our crew. So they load out of the Orpheum tonight. And I've done this in my normal life. So, I mean, I feel bad for them. I know what they're going through. It's still better than putting a clutch in a dump truck, as my friend Jerry Webb says. But they're loading the sound out tonight. And they'll probably be loaded out by midnight, with a load-in 2 hours away in Kansas City at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Sound check, I guess, 10:30, 11 a.m. First show, 2 p.m. Second show, 7 p.m. And there's no food catered. So what these guys have to do is, after they set up the show, in between shows, they have to go out and find food, which is not cool. So for a venue to bring a show like this in with 12 people doing 2 shows in one day, and for that venue to not provide any food whatsoever, that's pretty crazy. And everybody's kind of irritated about it. They're griping. People are mad about these kinds of things, and I understand it. I just come from a different world where I'm used to, well, I guess I got a protein shake in my bunk, I'll just drink that. Or I'm used to working, I don't know, just different jobs. Like, this is a dream for me. I'm still like, okay, so I got to walk around and find food. Like, I figure I can find food in a block or 2. And I also figure, in my case, I'm not doing all that physical energy, or using that much physical energy like those guys are when they set up all the equipment. So I can go with less food than they need. So I feel bad for them. They're working hard. These guys are the real all-stars. I'll end with this story. Last night we were in Pueblo. I don't know how you say it. Colorado. I went all day. I could not find coffee in that town. It was driving me nuts. There's an old Lester Flat spoof where he's mad at a radio DJ. He's like, can't even get a good cup of coffee in here. Come down to your dadgum radio station. Nobody even gives me a cup of coffee. Well, that's how I felt yesterday. I'm like, man, come into this town. I can't find coffee nowhere. I never thought I'd be one of these coffee. I need coffee. I never thought I'd be one of these people, but I am. Especially when you ain't eating much. And man, I ended up in a store because I couldn't find it. This coffee shop's closed. There's no coffee at the venue. I couldn't figure out the stupid coffee machine on the bus. I hate that machine. I don't want to mess with it. So my stubbornness, I'm walking around downtown, blowing off steam, and in comes this family. This guy has a long beard. And this is Colorado. Looked like a mountain man. And his wife and their little, I don't know, 8 or 9 year old, 10-year-old, I don't know how old she is, little girl. She's got a Johnny Cash t-shirt on, and they're telling somebody that they're going to the Johnny Cash show. So I just naturally go, oh, hey, me too. They're like, oh, really? I said, yeah, I'm in it. What? You're in it? And they start freaking out. And that little girl starts freaking out, grabs a hold of my leg, and acts like, I mean, I've never experienced anything like this. She's like, can I get your autograph? Can I get your autograph? I'm like, look, don't misunderstand, honey. I'm not a big, like, I'm just a guitar player for a dead guy. You know? When this is over, I'm going to be back, figuring out my life again, just like y'all. Like, I mean, they got it figured out more than I do. They probably have normal, good jobs, 401ks. And, you know, I'm over here like, oh, man, when this is done, what am I going to do? And she's just like getting her picture to it with me, and then wants me to sign this. And then I was like, well, here, you want this pic? I play the pic with the shows. Little girl gets tears in her eyes. And here's the deal. That there's no big headedness or anything that comes from that. And I really mean it. Here's what I think when something like that happens. I remember going to Mount Airy, North Carolina with my great grandpa. And it's the first actual concert I ever went to. I went to a show. I bought tickets to it. I was probably 17. And I picked up my 80-something, maybe 83, 84-year-old grandfather and drove him to Mount Airy, and we went and saw Third Time Out. And I went up and bought a CD, and some of the band members, Russell Moore and those guys, they were up there selling their CDs, and I got to shake their hands and talk to them. And inside, I was that 9-year-old girl. Now, I didn't express it that way at that time. I mean, I was 17. I had a driver's license. But I remember that making me realize this is a thing. These guys are out here doing this. This is their job. Get out of here. Unbelievable. That's the guy that just played the banjo. He was incredible. He's just a normal dude. Taking my $15 for a CD, you know, and I just remember. So I just think of that like, you know what, that girl, she's bit with the bug, man. And it doesn't seem to have anything to do with celebrity because she doesn't know who I am. All she knows is I'm living a life that she's interested in. And she's a little musician. And she's seeing the possibilities. And that brought back to me that Wichita. Dude, I was here in Wichita in 2001 with my... Yeah, this is crazy. Hold on, was it 2001? No, it's 2002. My last year as a homeschool basketball player in our homeschool league, back when homeschooling was, you know, not as popular as it is today. So you have to imagine the pool to choose from in the state of North Carolina. They sent the North Carolina State All-Star team, homeschool team, to Wichita. So out of every team in North Carolina, I ended up getting asked to be on this team. And I knew some of the players from other teams that I had played on before. And it was a dream trip. I'd never been further west than Kentucky or Indiana, you know. So we got in this van. This is 2002. I'm 17. And we went all the way to where I'm at right now in Wichita. Somewhere around here is this, I'm sure it's still around, huge gymnasium. And we did the nationals, the national tournament. And I played with that team. And I remember hitting a couple 3-pointers in a game. And I remember just feeling like, man, I was a part of something cool, man. We're in a van traveling with a bunch of guys. And imagine, it was 12 of us in that van. And I never imagined, I remember listening to my Walkman, and I did listen to Johnny Cash on that trip. I remember it. I remember looking out the window. We drove through Nashville. We actually spent the night in Nashville. And then we made our way on out to Wichita, where I'm at today. And I just remember dreaming, thinking, you know what, I'm probably not going to be in the NBA, but it would be cool to play music in towns like this and travel like this. That adventure spirit was on fire at that age as I looked out the window with my Walkman headphones on and imagined the life that I'm getting to live right now. So just like that little girl was yesterday, it had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with something in her that wants to be in this adventurous music life. And I don't know what it's going to turn into for her, but I hope she follows it. And I'm so excited that I did, because for the second time in my life, I'm playing Wichita. The first time I was dribbling the ball as a homeschool all-star, if that means anything. And the second time, I'm in Johnny Cash's band. And I keep thinking, I'll close with this. I just went in that coffee shop, and I don't know, 18, 19-year-old girl, she saw this lanyard around my neck. This is it right here. You hear that? She saw this lanyard. It says, let's see, what does it say? Johnny Cash, the official concert experience, North American tour. Okay. Here's the deal. I don't want to wear this thing, but in order to get in and out of these venues, I have to wear it. And then I forget that I'm wearing it and I'm walking around, which is kind of what you want to do because I don't want to lose it. And now I'm in this coffee shop and this girl goes, do you know Johnny Cash? Now she's probably 17, 18 years old. And I just said, I don't. And a big part of the reason why is he died 20 years ago. And she said, really? She thought I was here playing with Johnny Cash. I don't know about this generation, but I am excited for that 9-year-old. I'm out.